KD says, "Are y'all gonna review the Conway Big Ghost today?" Yes, we'll talk
Let's
about it
go
now.
right
Let's
now.
go ahead and go now. What did you think about it?
Thought it was excellent. I actually wish that the beats to this, first of all, I want to say beat wise, I think this is the best job production wise Big Ghost has done on a Conway joint. And I wish these beats were on God Don't Make Mistakes, because I feel like if some of these beats and some of these moments were on God Don't Make Mistakes, we'd have the album of the year.
Man, shout out to Conway putting in work like this, man. Like I
Keep on
love
putting
what
in
these
work.
guys do, man. These guys rap. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I get it. It's cool to venture out and do this and that, but when you're trying to be the best MC in the game, and I think that this is a very interesting time where everybody's rapping and everybody's rapping at a high level. I think God makes Don't Make Mistakes was a dope album. He was a dope lyricist on it, and he approached things from a standpoint I didn't think he was going to approach it. And then he comes back with this. Now, I told you when I listened to the Logic earlier, and the Logic was hitting on all cylinders when it comes to everything on a technical level. And then I heard this, and I'm like, well, this is just a different kind of MC, and it made me think differently about how
It's
I
that
wanted to
Scarface. It's
rate.
that Scarface effect.
Yeah, it's like it made me think differently about how I wanted to rate the Logic, but I don't want to hold certain things against Logic that he can't help. Like you said, some of the things that make it where you don't feel Logic, it's nothing he could do about it. Like
No.
I'm never gonna be 6'6". You know what I mean? Like there's nothing I could do about that. You can't tell somebody, yo, grow 6 inches. It's not gonna happen.
Right. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like I got a brother that's 6'9", Mike. When he walks into most places, he has to duck his head down. I'm never going to know what that feels like,
Yeah.
although he explains to me how it affects his back and his posture all the time. And it's like, no, I get your pain. Never going to feel it. I'm not 6'9", nigga.
Billy Barr says Drake is the best Ja Rule. Okay. Blue Collar Hustle says
Still prefer
Drake's
Ja
not
Rule.
rhyming with those caliber rappers because Drake does not write his raps, and he's risking further exposure like Meek outed him.
That's why I keep bringing up the whole Quentin Miller thing and how he hadn't sounded the same since the Quentin Miller thing. And I don't like that.
Let me
It's
ask
not a
you
good
this
look.
straight up: do you think that Drake currently has help writing his raps?
No, because the music's not any good. That's what I mean about how it's very problematic. Because when you had help is when you were making your best shit. And when you were actually making your best stuff, you were too busy helping other people. And this is what I mean about being mindful about the company that you keep. Because when I listen to the Carter 3, I'm like, nah, Drake co-wrote that. That's why I like the Carter 2 more, because I feel like Wayne didn't have any real help on the Carter 2. Like on the Carter 1 and the Carter 3, I hear help. On the Carter 2, I hear Wayne.
LP's asking me why I'm trying to save Logic from his whiteness and not Eminem. I just think that
I
Logic
was
is.
wondering that too.
I think the Logic is rated properly. Like if people are out here talking about Logic is top five and this and that, then yeah, I might go in a little bit more. But I
Okay.
think that some of the things that we say about Logic are unfair based on where he's already rated. You know what I mean?
No, I think that's fair when you
Yeah.
say that. So to go to this Conway joint, it's only 10 tracks long.
Hmm.
I'm gonna tell you something that I love about it. He's a great MC. Great MCs know how to pick up steam.
Yep.
This project picks up steam. The first 4 tracks are probably the weakest tracks. When you get the YBCM and you start rolling down, it's like it picks up steam and he steamrolls you. The highlight of the album, Scared to Death featuring Method Man. These two guys, I want to hear a 7 to 10 track EP from, because they sound good together. Because you want to know what? And Wu Tang used to joke about this. Meth was always the superstar of Wu Tang, but the other members used to always talk and be like, but he's the grimiest nigga in the crew, which is so funny that he's the biggest star. It's like, that's the nigga that's least likely to blow his nose, take a shower, get cleaned up for a interview. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there's something about what Conway does, which I kind of which I would bring the equivalence to Prodigy to, where his griminess brings out the best in Meth.
Mm-hmm.
And Scared to Death, although it's not Lemon, it's only not Lemon because, well, Lemon was two of the best verses of both of their careers. And Scared to Death isn't. But that's about the only thing you can say about Scared to Death. It's one of the best rap songs this year. The Sunday Sermon joint with Jay Skis, where he's going back and forth. You want to
I
know what
like
I
that too.
realized? Here's where the game is different. Do you remember when Jay and Beans are going back and forth on the Becoming on It's On?
Mm-hmm.
That's what this is. And that's the record where I realized it's like, Beans is just as good as Jay. Like MC wise, I don't know if he can write the songs that Jay can write, but
Right.
MC wise, he's there with Jay. Here's what I realized
I
when this
think
is
Jay
happening.
can meet him where he is too. But yeah, I feel you.
Right. Right. But here's what I realized because of how the game goes now, you got to keep in mind, we watched that progression where Beans was rapping with Jay for about 2 or 3 years before he reached that level.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this level now, because of how much material you have to record and how they work, well, Jay Skis in about 18 months' time has done what it took Beans about 3 years to do, which is be able to rhyme with your top level counterpart on the back and forth to the point that there's no drop off when you pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
And that means this nigga Ski's been putting in work the same way Siegel was putting in work. Now, is Conway Jay? No. Is Skis Beans? Oh, hell no. But the work, Mike. I see the work when I heard that record. It's like, oh, no, no, no. I'm like, oh, you getting stupid nice right now.
Ryan Gillum with the
nice.
super
You picking
chat.
up Conway's words? Okay.
Ryan Gillum with the super chat says Drake responded to people hating his album. He says, "All good if you don't like it. If you don't get it yet, excuse me. We'll wait for you to catch up." He must think he's Kendrick Lamar.
Hold on. Can I say?
You know what? That is the excuse that people give if you don't like something. Like, oh yeah, you're just not on that level yet. Hold on, let me read the super chat and hold that thought real quick. KD says, Ghost is one of the most underrated producers ever. Do y'all know his story coming up as a blogger, Ghostface Troll?
Yes. Yes.
Rumor is at Joe Button Fits on IG.
Yes, I've heard all of those things. And so here's another thing that I kind of want to bring up in all of this too, while we're talking about all this, is that, like, this is how you build out legacies as an MC. Like Conway on here, I mean, this guy is just special as an MC, Mike. And the specialty sometimes shows on projects like this, where I'm like, why don't you put some of this on your album?
I was going to ask you something real quick that kind of goes in line with that. Do you think that they possibly put out too much music? Because somebody's asked me that before. And I say that in the terms of, okay, let's just say you're going to make 3 albums in a year. But why not just not make 3 albums that year and put everything into that one effort?
I did not feel that way.
Okay.
Until this project. Because when I listen to God Don't Make Mistakes, there's about 6 or 7 tracks on there that are high-end album of the year material type of tracks to me. And the rest of the album is good, but not at that level. But then I go listen to something like this, and I'm like, the Why You Ain't Move on Me, Sunday Sermon, Scared to Death, Big Drum, YBCM. I'm like, man, you take those joints, take a few joints off God Don't Make Mistakes. I was like, we have the album of the year. And so I never felt that way before, because you have to understand, when we started doing this podcast,
it was good for us. It was exciting.
No, not even that. Well, you got to think about it. Within the first 6 months of them doing this podcast, well, Westside Gunn made Pray for Paris, and he made From a King to a God. That was April and August.
And Westside gave us 3 that year too, because Westside
I'm just talking about the high-end quality. Right, and so what I'm saying is that, well, we had no reason to ask for that for him, because if you look at where we started out the gate as far as reviewing these projects online live instead of writing the article, well, they delivered 2 of the 3 best albums that year.
Yeah.
And so even if you go to last year, it's like, well, all the stuff ranked again. Like La Maquina was still a top 10 album last year. I don't know if God Don't Make Mistakes is a top 10 album this year. And
Mm.
that's where I'm talking about I'm going to sit up there and quibble, because here's the thing. Well, if you take this project and God Don't Make Mistakes and take the best of them and put them together, not only is it top 10, it's the album of the year. And so now I am going to question the volume at which they make stuff, because the volume at which they were making stuff before was still at an album of the year type of level. And that's one of the things that I noticed about God Don't Make Mistakes and Tana Talk Type 4. It was like when y'all used to drop projects like this, it would carry more. But also, in fairness to him, like, are you familiar with Everything is Food?
Mm-mm.
Like, that's Conway's throwaway series, where he literally takes his throwaways and has made them into a couple of projects.
Okay.
Like, I think these projects, these last two, as in God Don't Make Mistakes and this one, are only a step above his throwaways.
Mm.
And
Miss
so my
Mo
thing
says
is,
she listens to Fly Guy every day.
what, the original Fly Guy?
I don't know if she she just said Fly Guy. Hopefully she's
I was
talking
saying, because
about
there's
3.
Fly God is an awesome God, and then there's the Fly God that came out the year Pray for Paris came out, which is Fly
That
God
was 3, right?
2.
That was 2. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
That's the one I like.
Yeah, that's what Jose Canseco.
Yeah, I was like, Seiko's crazy.
I'm from the streets of Buster Brick, Nick. The shit ridiculous. Yeah.
All right.
Jose Canseco, you want to know what? Even for somebody that loves Stove the way that I do, hey, Mike, that Jose Canseco verse is special.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even realize how special it was.
That made me stop and rewind. I mean, I think I found out about him, and I found out about
Rock.
Amani.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I found out about. Well, actually, I don't know if you know this. We found out about Stove from somebody on the chat that said we needed to check out Stove the God Cooks Reasonable Drought,
Yep.
produced by Rock Marciano, because you made a comment about how Rock Marciano was one of your favorites, and they was like, "Oh, you like Rock? You need to check out Stove the God."
I remember.
Right. So somebody from this chat, and this is why hip hop is beautiful. We're the ones that's supposed to be like authorizers and licensing and reviewing and all that. A nigga from the chat put us on Stove. Stove
we all learning from each other
the last 2 years.
Yeah, we all learning from each other. I think that's what's so dope about this platform and being able to do it in this way. But yeah, I mean, Griselda gave us a lot to go on, and they're still doing that. But I think at this point, and I get it at that pace that they were at that point, at this point, maybe try something different, slow it down, and put everything all into one. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what, and a lot of people feel this way, and I hear this all the time. Oh, this is a Nas channel. This is a Nas fan channel. Like, for me, I'm always going to remember Griselda. Our start of this podcast, for me, started with them having their surgence in their run. So I don't look at this as a Nas channel. I look at our run as we started when Griselda's run started coming up above the surface. They're the people that we've been documented. I think that in terms of how we archive it is going to matter the most, because they haven't gotten their just due. Everybody knows Nas is one of the greatest MCs of all time. Even for how he gets treated in the media, everybody knows that. People don't know about Westside and Conway and Benny and Armani and Love, and stuff. Like, they should. Even right now, they still don't know.
I think Griselda changed the pace and the tone for everybody. I mean, you can say whatever we want. Nas is Nas, but I think that KD2 and Magic
effect.
Pace, that's the Griselda effect. And we talk about Steph all the time and how he changes the game.
Old niggas, the KRS-One album that just came out.
Yeah.
The Locks
album, yep.
Yeah. These verses, all the competitive nature of it.
Yep.
Yeah. Ray and Ghost doing the verses. No,
Nas even stopped Conway and was like, "Yo, you're the one. Like, you that guy."
I told you. They
can see what's going on.
This is what I mean about how you have to document it properly. When Conway is doing that Drink Champs, when Nas is on the phone, and Nas points at him and doesn't say anything. This is what I mean. What Bean say on a Feeling in the Air, 85% of communication nonverbal. When Nas points at Conway, not when he says something, when he points at him, and you see the look on Conway's face, that's that feeling that I want every time people pull into this podcast. That's that real shit. That's that shit you can't create or duplicate. Fuck that other shit. He didn't have to say nothing to him. He just pointed at him and he looked, and Conway knew. And that was what Conway was waiting for. You feel me?
You right.
As an MC, he was waiting for one of those guys to invite him into the circle. And so when Nas is pointing at him, it's like, welcome to the circle. If you listen to his album on God Don't Make Mistakes, when he does the lock and load with Benny Siegel, when the second joint, the tear gas joint with Wayne and Ross, the joint starts off, the excerpt says, he's one of us now. That's important to Conway to be considered in that upper echelon where Wayne is,
Well, he
where
earned it.
Jay is, where Nas is, where Ross is. No. That means something to him. So when Nas is pointing at him, oh, that means more than a platinum plaque.
T Nitty with the super chat says you need to check out Killer Priest. He dropped over
Something just
10
moved.
projects in the
Is there
past.
something else in here? Oh shit, nigga, there might be something else in here. I just heard something move. I told you it's not safe down here.
Oh my god. Well, we need to get up out of here. Get you to safety.
No, not yet. I mean, if something started running at me, Mike, I got to start bringing my fucking pistol downstairs so I can deal with the animals in the basement.
T Nitty says you need to check out Killer Priest's album. He dropped over 10 projects since 2020. And shout out to Clayton and Sleep with the $20 super chat. He says Conway mentioned WWCD2 as a possibility in the interview. Would be dope. Much love and blessings to y'all. Fentanyl is my favorite beat in his catalog.
Oh, Fentanyl came off of Everybody Is Food. That's one of the Everybody Is Food joints. Fentanyl, yeah. I know what he's talking about too. That beat is banging.
Yeah.
I think that's the one where he talks about. No. I think that's the one where he talks about. I ain't put New York back up for. I ain't put New York in the back. I put Buffalo in the front, nigga. Like, yeah, he was talking on there. I remember what one he talking about.
I love what Conway's doing. I love what Westside's doing. I love what Benny's doing, man. They need to keep doing it, keep bringing that quality hip hop, and they're rapping, man. And you're right, man. It's a different tone when you hear them rhyme, and I heard that today when I put on Conway's joint, man, and Big Ghost LTD. I was like, yeah, this is what a rapper sounds like to me. I know we all got different ears and all that, but yeah, to me, I'm like, okay. You know what? Before we get out of here, I was listening to Midnight Marauders yesterday.
Everybody's like, Coop's bugging on the chat. It's like, no. I want y'all to come up here in the woods where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Like, because people understand it stormed up here. When it storms up here, it's like that gives license for all the animals to take reign like over the area. It's ridiculous.
I was listening to Midnight Marauders yesterday.
Yeah, I'm getting out of here. It's time to go.
Okay. Well, we'll get up out of here, but man, I was listening to Midnight Marauders yesterday, and those songs just sound so good. They don't have a timestamp on them. Like, you listen to Electric Relaxation and Award Tour, it's like, what year did these come out? You could just play that for anybody and be like, what year do you think this came out?
See, but here's the thing about it. It's also so special that it has a timestamp to it. You know what one of my memories of Award Tour is? I moved to Charlotte that year from Atlanta. There used to be these two dudes on the bus, Carlos and Courtney. This is when you used to bring the boom boxes on the bus still.
Mm-hmm.
When Award Tour came on, we're on the bus. We're riding from the south side of Charlotte, which is the rich side of town, to the west side of Charlotte, which is the poor side of town. We're going to Alexander Graham Middle School. But my memory of Award Tour is when it came on the blue box. And Courtney and Carlos were in 9th grade. I was in 7th grade. They were big dogs. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When the track came on, this is why the bus is moving. We riding up Billy Graham Parkway. These niggas got in the aisle and started dancing and had a whole dance step to it and was just gigging. And that's what hip hop was. It was like we was riding to the block. We was riding Boulevard Homes, Little Rock, up Billy Graham Parkway, headed towards West Boulevard. There's a boombox speaker. They got Award Tour playing it. The nigga Carlos is in like some like Carl Kanai silk shirt with like the tan pants, like the whole vibe with the box. You feel what I'm saying? Courtney got the afro and like the FUBU t-shirt on with the Air Ones. You feel what I'm saying? It was just, and that's my vibe of Award Tour. That's why it's one of my favorite hip hop songs ever, because it's like, no, that was my neighborhood. That was my block. That was us riding from school to West Boulevard, the hip hop vibe, the look, the aesthetic, the fashion, the boombox, the kids on the bus, it being hot. It was everything.
And that's soul.
It's hip hop. It's soul, Mike. It was
to bring
soul.
It all back around.
I still remember the dance move that they were doing, Mike, when they were breaking and then snapping and turning, and they were doing the shit in the aisles on the school bus. Like you had to have soul to do that back then. They was like, no, fuck that. We dancing and
LP says, gangster, hustler, and I still find time to kiss your mother.
uh
Steph Curry.
that's what happened to that boy, Pusha T.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, let's get up out of here, man. Everybody have a great weekend. Another great show. We had a whole lot to talk about. And I'm going to do some research for Wednesday because there's a lot of stories out there. No,
I'm
no,
gonna have
I
to
think
put
we
some.
came to the same conclusion, but
No, I think we came to the same conclusion. I said I'm gonna have to put like some shit down here and kill. We did this last summer. I'm not doing this in this crib again this summer.
well, happy Father's Day to everybody out there. Happy Juneteenth to everybody out there as well.
Oh,
And shout out to Steph Curry. Happy for him and the Golden State
oh,
Warriors.
hold on. Can I shout out my kid right quick since it's Father's Day?
Go ahead.
My kid just got straight A's.
Well, congratulations. Great
My
shit.
kid just got a job at 15. My kid is about to step out into the garage in about 30 minutes and start whipping the Infinity 2 because she's driving too. When I'm saying Happy Father's Day, well, part of what makes Father's Day so sweet is because my kid is so special. I don't know what that noise was. It's time to throw up gang signs in the basement, Mike.
All right. Well, I'm going to holler at you, brother.
Throwing up gang signs in the basement.